Hello, welcome back to lecture series in circuits and networks. So last class we discussed about set parameters, its derivation, and we also did a simple problem in set domain, in set parameter where only resistance were present. But in today's class we are discussing some more complicated problem where resistance, inductance, capacitance, such all elements were present. So before going into that, let me tell you something. Generally, this source, it may be a AC source or DC source. But generally we are marking plus minus. Why we are doing so? Even though it is an AC, it is having phase neutral that we can represent also as plus minus for this instant. If it is AC, after some time when next half cycle appears, this will get reversed. When here it is phase for this time, but for the next time instant, it will become neutral, and where phase is present, and that will replace that phase, so that this can be converted into DC term like minus here plus here. That means if it is if it is AC, we are representing plus minus only for the time instant. After some time, it will get reverses as it is AC, alternating current. But anyhow, in problems, we may be simply marking plus minus, considering this instant only. This is instantaneous condition. In some problem, they will not give you any polarity and any notations like this. Suppose in this problem, if this is the problem, you have to understand that they are meaning to find set parameter for this network, so that it is having both resistance and inductance, capacitance, etc. This will contains impedance, not resistance. It will be having its impedance. Impedance means it is an AC term. Actually, impedance represents an AC term. It is consisting of both resistance and reactance. Impedance is square root of resistance square plus reactance square. So it is an AC term. Okay. When it is DC, what happened? These components will become zero only in steady state. In transient period, we know that in DC also there is some disturbance, so that it will behave like AC. So it will be having frequency, it will be having reactance. So that in transient period, even though with DC, we have to consider it as AC. But if in steady state period, if it is DC, we are not having any reactance. So impedance is resistance itself. That was the condition of previous problem. We were having only resistance. So generally it may be a DC circuit. Anyhow, in parameter problem, we are not thinking whether it is AC source or DC source. If it is purely resistive circuit, then DC only is having some sense. AC will not do anything in that circuit. There will not any change for whether it is AC or DC. But if it is a circuit with both resistance, impedance, etc., resistance, reactance, inductance, capacitance, etc., then we have to think about it may be an AC source. But still you are marking like this only. We are not specifying whether it is AC or DC, but we are taking the instantaneous case where it is, if AC it is phase is marked as plus and neutral is marked as minus. So in all cases we can take it as plus or minus, whether it is AC or DC. But In AC case, if components like capacitance, inductance, etc. are there, then the solution is not that simple. The solution is not that simple. Because, why? Because if it is a peculiar AC like Vm sin omega t, where omega is equal to some value or frequency is equal to some 50 hertz like that, omega is equal to 2 pi f, you can calculate this omega. If these things are given, particularly the source, the details about the sources are given, then you can easily convert this 1 Henry into its reactance. What is the reactance of 1 Henry? It is known as inductive reactance. It is known as inductive reactance. Its equation is L omega. And we have to multiply this L, that is 1 Henry into omega. Suppose it is 50 hertz, omega value will 2 into 3.54 into 50, that will be 314. So you will get L omega is equal to 314. This is analysis using the concept of reactance, where inductive reactance is equal to L omega and capacitive reactance is equal to 1 by C omega. I know everybody knows these things. But in this problem, you can do like this, because specifically we are not having any source. Specifically, we are not having any source. We are finding the total parameters in general. It may be applicable to any source. I don't know what is the exact frequency of the source. Such things are not given. Just a network is given. Without having any source, you are predetermining its all parameters. That is the condition. You are not solving an actual problem. Because source is absent, you are not giving any value for the source, but you are just finding the equivalent parameters for the circuit. Make sense? Okay. So in that concept, we cannot go for the concept of inductive reactance and capacitive reactance. Then we are having another method for analyzing AC circuit, that is converting these elements, converting all these elements into S domain. How we can convert into S domain? 1 Henry inductance can be converted as L into S, that is 1 into S, that is S. 2 farad capacitance can be converted as 1 by 2 into two into S, that is equal to 0.5 by S. These things you already know, because in last class we were discussing, in last module we were discussing about transient or switching problems. In switching problems, even though it is a DC source, due to the switching, it may be having oscillations and transients comes, and that's why we are considering all these elements like inductance, capacitance, etc. in that problem. In that problem, we did this analysis. We converted time domain circuit into frequency domain circuit or S domain circuit. But in switching problem, we are having some other things also. What was that? Initial current. We have to think about initial current. What was the condition before the switching happens? And that also we have to add with this inductance. If this inductance is having initial current, we have to add some voltage source. If capacitor is having some initial current, we have to add some voltage source with that. But in this case, we don't have to think about the initial current and all. We have to just convert from time domain into frequency domain. So this method is applicable for all questions in two-port network where elements like inductor, capacitor are present. So up to this I was discussing only to bring this concept to your mind. That is, if there is inductance, capacitance, etc., you have to think that you have to find the entire parameter based on the source may be a AC source, but still we are marking it only as DC because we are considering the instantaneous case. Phase is here, you can mark plus, neutral is here, you can mark minus for this instant only. And with that concept, you can convert all elements into S domain. If it is a resistance, you can convert because resistance is resistance itself in both time domain and frequency domain. One is 1 in S domain also. But inductor, capacitor, etc., such things you have to do this conversion. So this is a brief introduction about the problems in two-port networks with AC components or AC elements. Okay, now let us move to the problem. Okay, so this is the question. Find all the set parameter for this network. So it is an AC network because it is having capacitance, inductance, etc. So the source actually that you are going to connect will be an AC source. But in our analysis, we know that we can just connect a DC source which represents the instantaneous condition of an AC source. Like if it is phase neutral, instead of that I can also connect plus minus. So this represents the instantaneous condition of this AC source. So first step, I already told you that in the previous slide, I already told you that as there is inductance, capacitance, etc., you can use either the concept of L omega transform. L omega means you are converting inductance and capacitance into its equivalent inductive reactance and capacitive reactance. Then you can mix this resistance plus inductance, etc. But that is not that much simple. The simple way you can convert these things into S domain. So we are converting the network into S domain. So initially I will redraw the circuit. I will redraw it. Okay, 1 ohm, it's again 1 in S domain. Initially it is V, we can write it as V of S. If simply writing V is also right, but anyhow in S domain, I will recommend you to write everything in this S domain. This may be plus, minus, and we are giving a current towards inside. That will be I1 of S, and at this side again same polarity, V2 of S. So in this figure you have to write like V2, V1, the basic figure, and I1, I2. It may be not there in the question, but you can add. And this is I2 of S. Okay, now what will be the value of this 1 ohm resistor? Again it will be 1. What will be the value of 2 farad capacitance? C is in S domain, it will be 1 by Cs. So 1 by 2 into S. 1 by 2 into S. Or that will be 0.5 by S. 0.5 by S. Or simply you can write it as 1 by 2S, no issue. That's your choice, you can go with your own way. And this 2 ohm is again 2 ohm, and this 1 Henry is 1 into S. L is in S domain, L is Ls. Okay, so now the circuit is converted from time domain to frequency domain. Everything is okay. Now there is one more complication. Why unnecessarily we can make this as 2 plus 1s? It is simply 2 is a resistance and 1s is a inductance. Like 2 is a resistance and 1s is an inductance, 1s. You can just write it as 2 plus s. Now it represents a impedance. And as it is in S domain, this is okay. You can write like this, you can mix. If it is not in S domain, can we mix this 2 and 1? Can you just write it is 2 plus 1 that is equal to 3? No, it is wrong. You can't add like just scalar sum. Just scalar sum is not enough for adding inductance and resistance. You have to do with vector way. So if in S domain, that is okay, because what is S? S is nothing but j omega, 2 into 1 j omega. Now it is in vector form. J represents angle and 1 omega represents magnitude, or 2 plus j into 1 omega. This is right. This 2 is resistance and 1 omega. What is 1 omega? 1 is value of inductance. So it is L omega. 2 plus j into L omega. This is the exact vector representation of impedance, where its magnitude is square root of r square plus xl square. What is xl? L omega is xl. You know all these things. So it is very easy to convert from time domain to S domain. Then you can easily mix these things. You can just add. Otherwise, you cannot just add. You will get some wrong answers. So if you know these things, then it is not needed. I was correlating what is S domain, what is XL, everything is same. But don't get confused, you don't use L omega concept, inductive reactance, capacitive reactance concept. It is very easy to go with S domain concept. Okay. So now I am going to mix some things. You can mix these two things as a series combination, and you can mix these two things as a parallel combination. So this is my aim. I want to make this one as Z1, but I want to group this parallel combination together, and I want to name it as Z2, and I want to group this series combination together, and I want to name it as Z3. So Z1 is okay. What is your Z2? Please tell me, what is your Z2? Yeah, you can work out. This Z2 is just a parallel combination. You know well how to solve a parallel combination. Do you know? Yeah. R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, or Z1 Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. So this is two things, 1 and 1 by 2s. So its combination Z2 is 1 into 1 by 2s by 1 plus 1 by 2s, like R1 R2, R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So that it will be 1 by 2s all divided by 2s by 2s plus 1. So 2s will get cancelled. You will get 1 by 2s plus 1 as Z2. This is okay. You got Z2. Now you can replace these two components with its equivalent parallel solution, Z2. Now let me solve the series solution. What is Z3? Z3 is 2 plus 1s, 2 plus s. Now Z2 and Z3 are obtained. Now you can redraw the figure again with this equivalent things, Z1, Z2, Z3. So the entire number of elements can be reduced. If in any problem you are seeing such combination, then it is okay. But if you are having some element like this, then can you solve it? No, it's not possible. In that case, you can solve directly like this. Okay, we will do it later. Anyhow, if some direct series parallel combinations are there, I will request you to solve this. Then your further steps will be very easy. Otherwise, in the entire calculation, you have to go with these things. It will be confusing. So, such direct series parallel combinations are there. You can use the equivalent values like this. So, let me redraw the figure. Okay, so I have redrawn the circuit with Z1, Z2, Z3. Now this is V1 of S and this is I1 of S, and this side is having supply V2 of S and current I2 of S, and Z1 is 1, Z2 is this and Z3 is this. We already obtained this in last steps. Now I want to find Z11. So from standard result, from Z parameter equation, when secondary side is open circuited, I2 is equal to 0, the equation will become V1 is equal to Z11 I1 plus 0 and V2 is equal to Z21 I1 plus 0. From that we can write Z11 is equal to V1 by I1 or V1 of S by I1 of S. This is equation number 1. Now the corresponding thing, this is from standard result. Now the corresponding thing I have to apply in the circuit. In the circuit means I have to make I2 is equal to 0. So that I have to connect a source V1 of S, only one source is connected, plus minus V1 of S and I1 of S. What about this side? As I2 is equal to 0, we don't have to consider this part because I2 is equal to 0 means no current is passing here. This was the V2, expecting V2 of S. As current in this Z3 is 0, the entire V2 will appear at this point also because no drop in Z3. Now this is V2 of S. This is plus minus, so this will be also like plus minus. Now our I1 of S is passing in this direction. So this side will be positive, this side will be negative. That I1 of S will come into this Z2. So this side will be positive, this side will be negative. So this is meaningless. No current is passing because this connection is meaningless. This is the circuit we have to consider about. Okay. What was the value of Z1? This is 1. And what was the value of Z2? 1 by 2S plus 1. Now apply KVL in this direction. Minus V1 of S plus 1 into I1 of S plus 1 by 2S plus 1 into I1 of S is equal to 0. So that take I1 as constant. 1 plus 1 by 2S plus 1 into I1 of S is equal to V1 of S. Good. Now we can easily compare what we want as for equation 1. We want V1 by I1 or V1S by I1S. So let me write V1 of S by I1 of S is equal to, just cross multiply. Solve this thing. 2S plus 1 also come to this side and the denominator will be as an LCM it is 2S plus 1 and here 2S plus 1 plus 1. So it will become 2S plus 2 by 2S plus 1. That will be Z11. No, not like that. Okay. You will get this as equation number 2. Now compare equation number 1 and 2. Compare equation number 1 and 2. Then you will get Z11 is equal to 2s plus 2 divided by 2s plus 1. You can simplify further. If you want, you can take that 2 outside. Such things you can do. Anyhow, this may be a basic answer. Okay. So now I am going to find Z21. Again from the same condition, I2 is equal to 0. So what will be the Z21? Z21 will be V2 by I1 at I2 is equal to 0. So the same thing, same figure we have to consider, I2 is equal to 0. But we have to relate between V2 and I1. So this is the method. V2 will be the voltage across this mid-branch impedance because current in this Z3 is 0. So as this V2 and this is the current I1, we can easily relate I1 into this drop will give V2. So I1 of S into 1 by 2s plus 1 will give V1 of S. Okay. We have to consider only this area. Here the voltage is V1s and here the current is same this current I1s and impedance is 1 by 2s plus 1. Okay. And for this one, current is entering here, this is plus, and for the polarity of V1s from this one, it is also plus. That's why we can equate like this. Otherwise, the symbol will get changed, minus will come here. So we want this is not V1 of S, this is V2 of S. Okay. So V2 of S by I1 of S will give 1 by 2S plus 1. This is equation number 3 and this is equation number 4. We know that V2 by I1 is simply V2 of S by I1 of S. So by comparing equation 3 and 4, we will get Z21 is equal to 1 by 2s plus 1. So this is also over. Now we want to change the condition. Up to this moment I2 was 0. This side current was 0. Now we want to make I1 is equal to 0. So please redraw. Okay, now we are making I1 is equal to 0 or I1s is equal to 0. Current from this side is made 0. So in the standard results, V1 is equal to, this portion will become 0. 0 plus Z1 to I2 and V2 is equal to, this will become 0, Z2 to I2. So initially, what will be the equation of Z12? That will be V1 by I2 at I1 is equal to 0. Okay, now let me redraw the original circuit with I1 is equal to 0. That means this side is not needed because no current is flowing to that side. Plus minus V2 of S (1 by 2s plus 1) into 2 plus S. Okay. And here we are having V1 of S initially and no current is passing through the 1 ohm resistance or its impedance. No current is passing. So no drop is happening in this element. So entire V1 of S will be duplicated here. So plus minus and this will be V1 of S. Okay, our first thing is Z12. We want to cross-relate between V1 and I2. So this is I2 of S. This I2 of S is entering in this impedance plus here minus here. So this voltage and this voltage having same polarity. So what will be V1 of S? That is nothing but current into this impedance. So I2 of S into 1 by 2s plus 1. So we can rewrite V1 of s by I2 of s, or simply equal to V1 by I2, that is equal to 1 by 2s plus 1. So if this is equation number 5 and this is equation number 6, I can write Z12 is equal to 1 by 2s plus 1. Now it's time to find Z22. Okay, from this equation I can write Z22 is equal to V2 by I2 at I1 is equal to 0. Okay, now we have to come to this equivalent circuit of I1 is equal to 0. So for cross-relating between V2 and I2, that is nothing but the input voltage and input current. So it will be input impedance. Generally we are applying KVL. So here also I will apply KVL first. Then I will show one more method. I think that may be somewhat easier method. Anyhow, it's your choice. First of all, KVL. For applying KVL, this is the current direction. So plus here, minus here, plus here, minus here. Don't think about this V1 of s now. It is used for the previous step. Now we want just the KVL in all the components. So start from this side in this direction. Minus V2 of s plus I2 of s into 2 plus s plus 1 by 2s plus 1 into I2 of s is equal to 0. So take I2 of s common into 2 plus s plus 1 by 2s plus 1 is equal to V2 of s. Now V2 of s by I2 of s is equal to, take 2s plus 1 as LCM, 2 plus s into 2s plus 1 plus 1. So you can write it as 2s square plus s plus 2 plus 1, 3, all divided by 2s plus 1. So this is equation number 7 and this is equation number 8. So compare 7 and 8, you will get Z22 is equal to 2s square plus s plus 3 by 2s plus 1. Now let me explain the other method. If this is okay, this is good, you keep this. What is the other method? Other method is nothing but V2 by I2 is nothing but impedance. V2 by I2 will be the total impedance of the circuit. This side is already ignored. So what will be the total impedance? V2 by I2 is the voltage by current, that will be the net impedance, that will be series connection of 1 by 2s plus 1 plus 2s. So you just take this thing, 1 by 2s plus 1 plus 2s, then also you will get the same answer. This is applicable for Z11 also. Don't apply KVL, you can directly take the Z equivalent. In that figure, Z equivalent will give Z11. In this figure, Z equivalent will give Z22. So if you want more systematic, you can apply KVL. Your equation will be looking good. But for getting simply, for Z11 and Z22, draw the circuit and find the equivalent impedance. Okay. So hope you enjoyed this class. Now we have to look into further things like reciprocity, condition for reciprocity and symmetry in set domain. So I will go to that in next class. So hope you enjoyed this lecture. We'll see in the next class. Thank you.